So far we have completed our research process. In our research process, we have completed step 1, step 2, step 3, right? So today we'll start step 4. What includes step 4 is selecting samples. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, perfect. So selecting samples, it includes type of samples, probability. There are two type of samples, sampling. One is probability, another is non-probability, and determining sample designs. So this is fourth step. And we also conclude today fifth step, that is writing a research proposal. And step 6 is collecting data. And step 7 is processing and analyzing data. So see, from selecting samples and writing a proposal, research proposal, collecting data and processing and analysis data, and writing a research report, all these are very important. And here ICT comes. ICT full form is information and communication technology. So all these 5 steps is very important in terms of ICT, information and communication and technology. So we will include this part of during the classes. So we'll start sample selections. Step 4 is sample selection. So sampling and research involves studying a smaller group. That is, a smaller group is called sample to make conclusion about larger group. Larger group is a population, which saves time and money. So the first thing, samples. Why sample is necessary? Because in sample selection and sampling is important among population, because we cannot give time and money to a larger population to conduct research. That's why we take a representation from population as a sample, right? A good sample should represent the population accurately, considering factors like what? Gender, age, education, income, and marital status. So when you take a sample, it should represent the population accurately. That is what the sample selection, during the sample selection, we need to think in our mind. And population in research doesn't just mean people. When you are thinking about population, it does not mean an entire people of a city or a country or a anywhere, right? It can be a factories or schools. Means a population can be a student, a population can be a workman, a population can be a like a category or a has a characteristic. So population always represent by n, and sample is represented by small n in our research writings. Inferences from a sample depend on sample size. Larger samples provide more accurate results, right? When you take a larger sample, it provide accurate results. Variation in the population affects certainty, right? If there are a variation in a population, and means see, if you are going like a Brazil has a country where different origin peoples are living, so that variation can affect the certainty, right? More variation needs larger samples for confidence. So these are the main important points of sample selections in research. Now we'll understand probability sampling methods. See, in a sample selection, there are two types. One is probability sampling method, and second is non-probability sampling method. So we are understanding probability sampling method. Probability sampling means that every member of the population has a chance of being selected. It is mainly used in quantitative research. If you want to produce results that are representative of the whole population, probability sampling technique are the most valid choice, right? If you want to produce results that are representative of the whole population, means the sample you have taken for the population and you are using quantitative research methods, the probability sampling technique are the most valid choice, right? And it has a means chance of being selected, means member of a population has a chance of being selected. Every member has a chance there in probability sampling. So probability sampling are of four types: simple random sampling, systematic sampling, stratified sampling, and cluster sampling. Simple random sampling is very simple. Every individual has an equal chance of selection. Example, see, in a company of 1,000 employees, assign each a number, means like you have a 100 people, 100 student in your class, and you have assigned a number 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 to 100, and you can use a random number generator to pick from among 100, means you can use 2 7 8, like randomly you can select among the 100 people. So that is called simple random sampling. Another is systematic sampling. Systematic sampling is individual chosen at regular intervals from a list. You have a 100 student, and here you what you do, you do not pick randomly, you pick a systematically. Systematically means number 6, number 16, number 26, you are giving a particular interval between the numbers from the list. So that is systematic sampling. Third one is stratified sampling. What you do, divide population into groups, and groups called strata. Question come from here. In stratified sampling, what is the name of groups? So they can ask you strata. So remember this word. So strata based on characteristic, it is very important. Stratified sampling based on characteristics, right? Ensuring presentation. So what is the example for that? Divide employees by gender, randomly selecting 80 women and 20 women from a company with 800 females and 200 females. So here what they are doing, they are having a different groups and having a characteristic. So they are choosing from that groups. That is called stratified sampling. Like there were 800 females, so they choose 80, and from 200 males they have selected 20 men. So this is the stratified sampling type. Another is cluster sampling. Randomly select entire subgroups, clusters if practical, or sample individuals within clusters. So here is the example of cluster sampling. Choose 3 out of 10 company offices as a cluster for data collection when each office has a similar employee role. See, you have a different offices in your in any country, and out of you want to conduct a research for the similar employee roles. So what you will do, you won't go entire 50 offices or entire 100 offices. You select 10 out of 100 and you do your research on that. So that kind of sampling is cluster sampling. Now, second type of sampling is non-probability sampling. So non-probability sampling means individual selected without random criteria, no equal chance of inclusion. Probability sampling giving equal chance to every member of a sample of a population, and non-probability is not giving a chance, equal chance to include, right? And what a non-probability sampling has a characteristic, it is easier and cheaper, accessible, but prone to sampling bias. It is accessible, but it can be biased, weaker inferences, less reliable population insights than probability samples. Exploratory and qualitative, common in research exploring a small or unique population, not for broad hypothesis testing. So exploratory and qualitative research use such kind of non-probability sampling, but non-probability sampling is weaker against probability sampling. There are types of different types of non-probability sampling. What are these? Convenience sampling, voluntary reasons response sampling, purposive sampling, snowball sampling, and quota sampling. So convenience sampling is easily accessible, individual chosen. It is very simple. Example, surveying classmate about student support services, but it may not represent all students. So it is on your convenience. So it has a name of convenience sampling. Voluntary response sampling. People voluntarily participate, often through online surveys. Example, surveying all university students, but those with a stronger opinion are more likely to respond, leading to bias. So voluntary response sampling is including all type of people, often through online surveys and any other mode. So what it do, it leading to bias. And purposive sampling, researchers expertise guides sample selection for specific research goals. It has a purpose, so it is called purposive sampling. What researchers expertise guide sample selection for specific research goal. Example, selecting disabled student with varying support need to understand their experience with student services. So where researcher expertise guide sample selection is called purposive sampling for specific research goals. Snowball sampling, participants recruit others in hard to access population. Example, researching homelessness by contacting one person who connect you to others, right? But the sample's representativeness is uncertain. So this is snowball sampling. You are using someone else to decide your samples, and but the sample's representativeness is uncertain. So that is why this kind of sampling is called snowball sampling. And the last one is quota sampling, non-random selection of predetermined proportion in strata. Example, surveying 1,000 people on dietary preference, setting quotas for meat eaters, vegetarians, and vegans to ensure equal representation. So this is called quota sampling. The sample size for any research study depend on 4 P's. What are 4 P's? Purpose, population, procedure, publishing. What is the purpose? There should be a purpose, the required precision of the study, right? If you are going for a sample size, you have a purpose, the required precision of the study. Purpose, required precision in the study, basically. Population, the size and nature of population under study. It is very important. Procedure means you have a purpose, you have a population. Now procedure, what will be the procedure of a selection of a sample? The time, budget, and resources available. So you need to think about this, the time, budget, and resources when you use procedure to select a sample. And publishing, the importance of the studies. This is publishing. The more heterogeneous or diverse the population is, the bigger should be the sample size. Means where population is heterogeneous or a diverse, what you need a bigger size of a sample. So your fourth step of research process is complete. Now fifth step is writing a research proposal. Research proposal means when you are submitting a short report of your research, when you will conduct a research in front of a committee. So research proposal, what is 3 to 7 page document, but it could be a 10 to 12 also document outlining a research project. Means outlining means giving a headings to your research project, right? Or a study, you can say a study applies to academic thesis or a corporate endeavors. Serves as a detailed program description. It is a detailed program description. Means when you give a project or a study description in your synopsis, so it serves a detailed program description. Highlights project's purpose. Means your study, it highlights purpose of your study, benefits of your study, and what data collection methods you will in your study. Discuss analysis types. Means what kind of analysis you will do after data collection. Collaboration needs, duration, what will be the duration of your research study, and How will you get funding? Profile researchers, credential, and expertise. So all these things should include in your research proposal. Main element of a research proposal is need of a specific research project. Need of a specific research means main element is it should be a specific. Benefits and beneficiaries. So what will be the benefit of your research proposal and who will be the beneficiaries? The type of data to be collected and the means to collect the data, means what kind of a data you will collect and what will be the meaning of the collection of the data. Type of analysis. So here again, what kind of analysis you will do? Help required from the other organization, if any, right? Where you are going to take help from other organization or other institutions if required. Duration, facilities, and requirement of funds. If you are conducting very high level or a clinical trials or any this kind of research where you require a lot of money, then you need a fund for that. So it main element of a synopsis should be it should given duration, what time it will take, facilities, and what kind of fund you required, and profile and credential of the proposers. So means what proposer means, who is representing researcher, scholar, his profile and credentials for of the proposers. Sampling and research proposal is clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Step 5, collecting data. So here ICT starts. ICT, what is the full form of ICT?
Information, communication, and technology.
First we will start data collection method. Collecting data is important after when you are finalized sampling and you have prepared your synopsis. So now you discuss about data collect, means collection of a data. So how will you collect data? Data collection method. This researcher select data collection method based on investigation, means the kind of research you are picking, its nature, its scope, cost, time, and accuracy. All depends on your research. It should be in your research. When you have decided it, so you will start your data collection. So primary data collected through experiments or survey, because primary data is a first hand data or a fresh data you will collect. So it can only through collected through experiments or a survey. Or experiment data collection involves quantitative measurements, right? What you do in experiment data, it involves it includes quantitative measurements. And what you do in quantitative in experiment data collection, data analyzed to test hypothesis, right? Why you collect data? You collect data to test your hypothesis, whether it is means is there any relation between variables or not. So when you test your null hypothesis, then it give a result. And you test a hypothesis, you cannot test your hypothesis without data. Survey data collection methods. Now you have understood the experiment data collection. Now next is survey data collection method. So how you will collect in survey data? By observation. What you do in observe without interviewing, means in observation you will not interview the samples. Suited for limited, costly, and current data. It is suited for limited, costly, and current data. Means observation is always a costly and will be used during any current situations. Personal interviews structured with preconceived questions, means you have a questions already set and dependent on the interviewer's skills. So through personal interview you collect data, survey data. Through observation you collect survey data. Telephonic interviews, mail questionnaires, and schedules. So these are the survey data collection methods. Now seventh step. So here what the importance of ICT in collection means, there are pre data collection ICT used and post data collection ICT used, and ICT has a application. So in processing and analyzing, ICT is very important. Nowadays, information and communication and technology has developed many softwares where you can assess your data. Means, see, secondary data you can access from online through different websites, government websites, and many institutions are putting their reports on the websites. So researcher can take data from there, right? So assessing data, then processing data. Processing data, when and collection of a data is also important. You can collect your data through Google Forms. So this is another method. The surveys are conducting, different kind of websites or organization institutions are collecting data through surveys. They have through Google Form or different kind of softwares or applications they are using it. Then processing it means a different kind of softwares have developed, like SPSS. So through SPSS, through advanced Excel, and many others like R, Python, these all such kind of computer coding and applications processing data which you collect through. And what they do a statistical calculations, and after processing it, when it gives a result, then you analyze it. And analyzation through charts and tables is also there. So all means, this is the ICT, information communication and technology, where we use in our research. So this is the part of it. So data analysis pros involves what? Categorization, coding, tabulation, and drawing statistical inferences from collected data, right? What data analysis process include? Categorization, coding, tabulation, drawing state. So all these are very tough when you do it manually. It is very simple on system, on software. You can categorize there, you give coding, tabulation, everything you will receive on your screen within a second after feeding your data. And in processing, first you do is data analysis process that involves categorization, coding, tabulation, drawing, statistical inferences, right? After, what you do is classification. Large data is grouped into manageable category for analysis, right? So example is grouping survey response into age brackets like 18 to 24, 25 to, so you give a classification to your data is a part of processing or analyzing data. Then what you do editing, data cleaning to identify and reduce errors or gaps. So this step you can also do on the softwares which is available nowadays. So data cleaning is very important. Data cleaning means you have a large data you have collected and there are some errors, so you can identify then that error online, and you can remove it, or you can clear it. So this is cleaning of data or editing of data to reduce error or gaps in your response. You do corrections, particular errorful data. And coding, assign numerical codes to qualitative and categorically data. Example, assigning 1 to male and 2 to female in gender variably. So coding is very important. It comes under ethics. You cannot give the names of the sample. It is against ethics. Research ethics means there are some do's and some don'ts. Do's and don'ts means code of conduct for researchers. It is not written like our constitution, but there is something is important in research which we cannot do, and something which we need to do. Qualitative data. So when you analysis data, there are two type of data. So qualitative data and quantitative data. So qualitative data, descriptive, qualitative data will always be a descriptive, categorically, or discrete variables. So example, describing customer feedback comments about a product, that is called qualitative data. So you analysis it. Quantitative data, processed and converted into numerical codes for analysis. Example, like Likert scale response taken in strongly agree and strongly disagree and between them. and you give a numerical numbers to strongly agree or strongly agree, and you do a statistical analysis after given number. You do not analysis strongly agree, you analysis numbers behind it. So that is quantitative data. Qualitative data analysis. So you have a you collected data, qualitative data and quantitative data. Now the process of analysis of qualitative data. Analytical approach is flexible, lacking rigid rules. Means see, process of analytic approach is flexible in qualitative data, and it has a lack of rigid rules. Content analysis is common, focusing on interview content to extract main themes. What are the main themes? Identifying main themes means when you go for a interview during your research, and interview is a part of your research collecting data. So when you have collected that interview, so what you do, you will identify main theme. Means you have collected, you have taken interview 10 or 100 peoples, and what you will do, you identify what they are saying in their interview, a particular word or a particular sentence, that or a theme, on what subject they are talking. So that theme you will select from that interview. So you identify main theme among your interview from samples. What you will do then? You give a code for them. You assign a code to that theme used when counting the occurrence of the themes in interview. Means how many types that theme is occurred. You give a you assign a codes for that. Now classifying response, sorting response into respective themes, right? When you collected response, you assign codes. Now you classified the response of the responders. Integrating themes, incorporating themes and responses into the research report as per the researcher's communication style. So these are the 4 points in qualitative data which is important. First is identifying main themes from the interview or a type of data collection. From that collection, you identify main theme, assign codes, classifying responses, and integrating that theme into your writing. Second is quantitative data analysis. So it is suitable for well-designed, well-administered surveys with structured questionnaires. Analysis can be done manually or with computer assistance. So here manually it is very big task, and with computer it is just a it just takes seconds to give you a analysis or results. So first is manual data analysis, suitable for small samples, right? Manual data analysis you can do for a small samples. Questions can come in your examination, like what how you means a question come can manual data analysis, how will you do on what kind of samples you can do your manual data analysis. So they can ask you small samples, large samples, and something like that from options. So remember this thing, manual data analysis suitable for small samples and limited variables, right? Primarily used for calculating frequencies and basic cross tabulations. Time consuming, manual data analysis is time consuming, often involves coding data onto graph or paper in columns. So this is very lengthy process when you do statistics manually. Data analysis using computer, so requires familiarity with appropriate software, often involving computer and statistical knowledge. Common software like SPSS for Windows is used. Data entry must be accurate as errors can affect results. So when you do a data entry on computer, it is very important it should be errorless. If you put a wrong data, you will get a wrong result. So it is very important. Statistical tests determine the significance of relationship of or difference supporting or conflicting with the hypothesis. And what you do in processing and analysis, you do hypothesis testing. In quantitative studies, data analysis aims to support or contradict the hypothesis. In quantitative studies, it tests hypothesis, and what it do, it analysis do aims to support or contradict the hypothesis. Various statistical tests like chi-square, t-test, and f-test are used for this purpose. Testing results in either accepting or rejecting the hypothesis. Qualitative studies may not have a formal hypothesis. Repeatedly upheld hypothesis can lead to a generalization and theory development. So, processing and analyzing of data is very important. Why? Because it tests hypothesis. And last is generalization and interpretation. So researchers value lies in generating generalization or theories. Researchers may explain findings based on existing theories. Interpretation may raise new questions leading to further research. So your research process is now coming to end. Step 8 is writing research report. Writing research report means when you write a report before submitting your thesis, and it is also a short form of your thesis. And what research report include? Writing a report is the last and for many the most difficult step of the research process, right? This is the last step and for many most difficult step of the research process. Means many people are face difficulty when they write the research report, so it is very important to understand. The report informs the world what you have done. Means the thesis which you submit is the thing or is the work which you will inform to the world what have you done, what you have discovered, and what conclusion you have drawn from your findings. The report should be written in an academic style. Language should be formal, not a journalistic. So it should be a formal. We do not use language like a journalistic type of language, like a press media type of language, right? So here is the example of research report format. So traditionally written reports tend to be produced in the following format. What are the following? First is title page. First page will always be a title page. Then next is title of the research project or a research study, right? It is about the report writing. When you prepare your thesis or a report, first what includes? Title page, title of the research study, name of the researcher, purpose of the research project. For example, a research project submitted on partial fulfillment of the requirement of XYZ university. Date of publication should be there. Then next thing will come is table of contents. uh, I'll show you my example, live example. Are you there? Hello?
Yes,
Yes,
yes.
sir.
Have you ever seen this Shodh Ganga website?
No, sir.
Somebody visited there. See, now this is a website. It comes under ICT, information communication technology, and it provides a number of theses. See, you can see thesis. 4,83,399 theses have been submitted till now through different universities available in India. Synopsis 12,400, right? And it is also, now you can search any kind of research. Now tell me the subject, on what subject you would like to find a thesis. Tell me.
Effect of yoga on mental health.
Mental health, right? So see, 20, adolescent adjustment, a cross cultural study of the four culture, that is Kashmir, Keralite, Sikh, and Bengali. So you can search your research by, see, study of caregivers of mental health patient in Gujarat and heuristic approach. It is submitted on 1st January 2021. Who was the researcher? Researcher was Sakshi Pindoria and guide was Sinha Nita. Now you can click on the link, and from the link you can get the detail of that research. This is the link for that particular research. And what was the title of it? Study of caregivers of mental health patient in Gujarat and heuristic approach. Everything means, and keywords are there to find the thesis or a research. In which university it has been conducted? Pandit Deendayal Petroleum University. When it was completed? 2020, right? Now from here you can find the complete detail of the thesis. So here is a title PDF. What it includes? Let's see. This is the title page. Study of, this is the title. It is mentioned here. What it is? It is thesis submitted in partial fulfillment for the requirement of Doctor of Philosophy in Psychology by Sakshi Pindoria, roll number this under the guidance. So this is the first page. This is called title. This is title page. Understand? Did you
Yes, sir.
understand? Okay. So this is the title page. Then they give dedication, declarations, acknowledgement. Here is the abstract. This is the abstract. It is more than an abstract. Actually, abstract will always be a very short form. And this is content. This is complete detail of the thesis. First, they have mentioned the list of tables, how many tables they used in the thesis, list of figures, abbreviation. It is like a book. We have a book indexing. The table of content is like an indexing. So first they have given introduction. These are the chapters of thesis. So in this way, we have to prepare our thesis. All these things you have to given in, means whatever the details, it is like a writing a book. Whatever you have done, it is a story, and a story has a particular theme, and according to that theme you have to write your thesis. This is all about research report. This is a larger form of your research report. Here is a chapter 1. So chapter 1, introduction, all these things are there. Battery is exhaust. I hope you all got it. बेटा तैयार हो जाओ जल्दी से, स्कूल जाना है. So then title page, title of the research project. This is first page of the research report. Then next I showed you the table of content, right? And then the chapter 1, right? Chapter 2 is research design. Chapter 3 include what? Data analysis and interpretation. Chapter 4 includes summary and conclusion. Then appendices, appendix 1, like whatever the tools you used, you will give it in a appendix form. So this is research writing. Any questions?
No, sir.
Okay. So in the next class, we will understand about ICT and research ethics. Then almost our syllabus will be complete. You all are busy. I think so.
Sir, steps of a qualitative research and steps of a quantitative research. That topic, can you please clarify?
See, qualitative steps of a qualitative research.
Yes, not qualitative data and quantitative data. The whole research, the research
See,
which is done for
qualitative research means like if any kind of research which you are doing where you are collecting the quality means attributes of a particular variable, then it will be a qualitative research. The steps will be the same for quantitative and qualitative. What will be the steps? First you need to identify area, right? Then you will narrow down it to then you will finalize your variables of to conduct your quantitative research. After finalization, a literature review is very important. What work has already been done for the particular problem or particular variables. After that, you will come to a methodology. In methodology, what you will do, you will select your objectives. Means now you have finalized your variables, you will select your objectives, what you will going to be do in your research. After finalization of your objectives, this will be same for quantitative and qualitative. The quantitative and qualitative only difference is to differentiate between the data collection. The method of the analysis and processing is different for qualitative, and the method of the processing and analysis of data in quantitative will be different. You will use different type of test on qualitative data, you will use different type of test on quantitative data. So this is step will be same, only thing the collection of the data is different, tools will be different, and processing and analyzing will be different. Got it?
yeah, kind of, sir.
Okay, so I think we should close today's class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Hari
Thank you.
Om.
Hari Om. Hari Om.